What is up, collectors? A couple of things I wanted to get off my chest, and then I'm going to show you just a couple of fun pickups. I went to the Dallas Card Show last weekend and really enjoyed the show. Big show. Had Mike, baseball card collector, had mentioned a lot of shiny stuff, a lot of football, a lot of Pokemon, not a whole lot of vintage. So didn't love that, but still a really fun experience. Got to see some great cards, got to talk to some great people. Before I get into a pickup from the show, just I have a couple of things to get off my chest surrounding grading. I know there have been so many rants on PSA, but at the show, one of the things that stuck out to me, I got to a table and one of the dealers had a bunch of PSA slabs of the same card. So I think there was Boggs, Topps rookies, there was Clemens rookies, all the same card lined up. And I asked about a particular grade. I think it was a PSA 89 Upper Deck Griffey and a PSA 8. And the guy said, "Oh no, I'm not selling that card." And I said, "Well, what do you mean you're not selling that card?" And he's like, "No, this is the run of Ken Griffey Jr." I'm like, "The run of Ken Griffey Jr.?" He's like, "Yeah, this is the whole PSA run of Ken Griffey Jr. from PSA 1 all the way through PSA 10. And I said, I was kind of like, didn't really know what to say. I said, "Okay, that's interesting." I said, "Is that like a thing?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely. You know, collectors, they want to get the whole run." And I'm not talking about like a player's run from the beginning to the end of their career. I'm literally talking about PSA 1 to 10 run of the same card. And particularly for some of these runs, they were just crazy. Like for the 89 Griffey, I think he was asking like over $6,000. And I was just, I just had to kind of shake my head. Apparently that's, as our guy, Mr. President says, we're collecting slabs, not cards at this point. It really is baffling that people literally want these PSA slabs more than they want the cards. So what you're telling me is I should take my cards and I should damage them to get a 1, and then slightly less damage them to get a 2, and then a 3 and a 4 and a 5. One of the other interesting things that stuck out to me is there was one 89 Upper Deck Griffey that was in a 2.5, a PSA 2.5. And this PSA 2.5 Griffey, he was asking $1,200 for. And I said, "What is going on? Am I missing something? What's going on with this card?" And he said, "No, the half grade, the 2.5, PSA 2.5 is the hardest grade to get in the 89 Griffey from PSA. Harder than a 10. And so apparently a 2.5 PSA Upper Deck Ken Griffey is the card that you want because it is so rare." And sure enough, if you actually look at sold listings, there have been a couple of 2.5s that have sold for $1,000 and $1,200, which is just baffling to me. So apparently that's the thing too. Not only are you collecting the run, but you're collecting these rare PSA half grades to just own something that nobody has. You guys know that the 89 Upper Deck Griffey is the most mass-produced card on the market. Still has a lot of demand, but even for me, this was pretty eye-opening. So I sincerely hope that all of you and all of you collectors really open your eyes to what we're doing here. And again, people are allowed to collect how they want, but to me, that is the ultimate silliness. If you want to literally burn your money, you might as well do that, because that makes zero sense. But again, intriguing topic if we're talking about grading. So PSA has a monopoly on the grading space at this point, with SGC largely being decapitated in its grading ability and its staffing and so forth. So that's the main game in town. So we have to decide as collectors what we're willing to tolerate. Are we willing to give a company business? Are we valuing our slabs more than our cards? Maybe we need to take that into account, into consideration, in how we collect moving forward. But I found that intriguing and interesting. All right, rant over. A couple of fun pickups I wanted to, let's transition to a couple of fun pickups I've had over the last few weeks and months. Well, let's start with Dallas. As I said, a lot of shiny cards, a lot of newer cards. I went to Ash's table and I've been talking with him about back and forth with this card on Facebook, and he had it priced actually very high. He had it priced above comps, and it was a very nice example. And I tried to negotiate a little bit. He's like, I'm sorry, I just can't come down. So I just kind of let it be. I'm like, I'm not going to pay a couple $100 above comps on this card. It wasn't a really rare card, but it's a beautiful example. So then fast forward, I'm at the Dallas show. I'm seeing Ash in person. And again, I see this card in his case and it's still there, hasn't sold. And I said, would really like this card. Where can we be? We went over some comps. And he had paid a lot for the card. So he said, listen, this is why I paid for the card. I can come down some, but this is the lowest I can be. So we settled on a price, and it's one of the cards that have been on my goal pickups for a while. It's the 48-49 leaf Warren Spahn. Again, for this card, I've been looking for a very nice example with good color, good registration, and centering, which on this card is plagues this card along with the registration. So you can see that nearly perfect centering. It's got a little bit of staining on the back, but he doesn't have kind of the bloodshot eyes. He's got the nice rich color, beautifully centered. So again, this was the one that I jumped at. And he knows that I'm pretty particular when it comes to cards. And what he said, actually, Ash said a good thing to me. He said, listen, it's good to be particular, but you can't be so particular that you never actually jump at a card. If you see a card that you love, even if it means paying up a little bit, and I did pay a little bit above comps for this card, it is worth it. If you have been searching for a card, you've been doing your research, your time is valuable, you should appreciate it and take that into consideration when you're trying to leap at a card that has got high eye appeal like this one has. So this is my 49 leaf Spawn. Excited to add that to collection. I have a 49 leaf Ruth and a 49 leaf DiMaggio. I'm hoping to add the Jackie. I'm hoping to add the Stan the Man in the future to round out a nice, beautiful rainbow in the Teddy Williams. So that was my big pickup and only pickup from the Dallas show. And then a couple other pickups. A couple of months ago now, like 3 months ago, I found a beautiful example of this card that I've been looking for quite some time. It was also on my list. This is a Red Heart Stan Musial. And this is again a card, really tough to find a good centering on this card. And this was a beautiful card for the grade, as you guys can see. Get a good look at that rich color. And the back is actually really nice too. This is an old label, but I think it's deserving of the grade. It's just a beautiful card I think every collector should have in their collection. So this was one that I was very, very excited to add. Beautiful. All right, that's number two. And wouldn't be complete if I didn't show you guys a couple of Venezuelans. This is a guy that I buy a lot of Venezuelans from, and he is a Venezuelan dealer that just seeks out high-end Venezuelan cards. So I know if he's coming to me with something, it's going to be high quality. Again, it's going to have an intact back. It's going to be a beautiful example for the grade. And this was one that I picked up a couple of months back. This is a 64, right? 64, that's right. Venezuela, Sandy Koufax. And as you guys know, well, you may or may not know, with the 64s, they have the black back. And that's an example of the back, nice and intact. You can see a very nice example. It's nice and centered on the front. Good registration, no paper loss on this card. So it is a nice example. So that is number one Venezuelan pickup. Another pickup I got from my guy Brian. Shout out to Brian. I'm hoping to have him on the show in a couple of months, where he's one of the best Venezuelan dealers in the biz. A Luis Tiant, and this is a beautiful Winter League card from the 67 Topps Venezuela set. One of my favorites in that 67 set. And you can see that beautiful red back on this card. This is one of my favorites, and it's just a beautiful card of a fantastic player, and very thankful to add that. Last but not least, this is a fun one. This is a 73-74 Venezuelan sticker of Dave Parker. It's a pre-rookie, and a really, really tough card to find. Most of these were stuck into albums, as you know. Managed to find this one. Again, the back is blank. It was a sticker, but I just like how he looks all kind of roughed up. I mean, that's classic 70s right there. You know, Dave Parker. So that's a nice option if you're looking for a pre-rookie and a cool looking rare card. I think the pop on this is like, I don't know, 5 to 8. So it's a very rare card, and it's so thin and malleable that you can't even really push it into the holder. So I'm actually might just keep it as is. So that's a couple of months of pickups, and I added some big boys, in particular Stan the Man, Warren Spahn. These are some good ones, as you can see here. And then my man Sandy, Luis Tiant, and Mr. Parker. The only one I'm missing for Koufax now is his 59 Topps Venezuela to complete his Venezuela base card run. That is a really tough card, and we'll see if maybe I can land that in the next few years. But I am excited to have picked these up. Okay, guys. Well, until the next time, let me know what you think of these pickups, and we'll see you soon.